So I think as soon as you say to people, we don't necessarily know what it is to be human, which is one of the central tenets, I would argue, of critical post-humanism, there's kind of a pushback to that, similar to the pushback we find when technologies, people are concerned about that might rob us of our humanness. And I think it's two entirely different things. I think what critical post-humanism is saying is that we never really knew what it is to be human in the first place. If we actually kind of focus on what we're doing in the here and now, the relationships that we have, the big question of humanness with a capital H doesn't actually matter for us. What does matter is maybe more about how we're being humane. So it's maybe more about our humaneness rather than our humanness that is perhaps at stake with these technologies. And I think there's often a tendency to conflate the two and maybe to assume that if our humanness is at stake, our whole lives, our whole existence is at stake. And I think that's a red herring. And I think, the critical post-humanism, this is why I'm such a fan of critical post-humanism, to think more about those ethics and again, the responsibilities that we have towards others. Thinking about not just yourself, not just about thinking altruistically, but actually thinking deeply about those relationships and the complexities of them as well. So, thinking that if I don't put the recycling out today, that's not just going to have a simple, impact on my life or the immediate surroundings. It is going to have this bigger impact. So it's kind of the butterfly effect, I guess, in a sense. These relationalities are so complex and intricate that they kind of span out all the way. So thinking as much as possible about those kind of consequences, about thinking about ethical, responsible, humane action in that context, I think is really, really important.